one of my favourite people and a legend. Murray Walker, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Lovely day.
Really nice to talk to you. First question I've got to ask about the hearing before we talk about Formula One, of course, is it is so important. Why have you decided to do this, Murray?
I suppose it's a bit of a missionary thing. I became aware of the fact that I had a hearing problem, put my problem away. I don't have it anymore. And most people's hearing deteriorates as they get older. And I would like people to be aware of the fact that they can do something about it and reduce the problem. You have a simple hearing test and you get fitted up with the kind of hearing aid that you need. And it transforms, and in my case, it certainly transformed your life, because you can hear clearly again, and life is about communication, and if you can't communicate, it is not a very good life.
I've got to ask you the honest question, Murray, which is, do you think that the Formula One had anything to do with that, with those loud engines going past you?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's it's partly an age thing. I'm no spring chicken, and everybody's hearing deteriorates as they get older. But from the age of 2, I've been exposed to racing engines, very, very noisy racing engines, and they have undoubtedly exacerbated the problems. But if you, for today's youth, substitute discos for racing engines, they're going to have the same sort of problem in their later lives that I've got in mine.
I think I probably suffer from the same thing in radio. I'm sat here with headphones on, which are bleeding into my ears very loudly. It can't do you any good, can it?
No, but how old are you?
I feel 102 this morning.
Well, you've got time on your side, but I mean, from about 50 onwards, nearly half the people in this country have got some kind of a hearing loss. They may not be aware of it, and that's all the more reason why they should go and have a hearing test. And it's so easy to do. And if you want to, for instance, if you want to know where you can get it done, go to the web, davidormerod.co.uk.
I suppose it's one of those things that we take for granted until it's gone, and then you wish and you could turn the clock back and do things about it. How far can we go back? I mean, you said at this point I'm okay. At what point is it not okay anymore?
Well, I think that when you start to think that people around you are mumbling, or people are telling you that you've got the television turned up too loud, you're maybe not hearing the phone or the doorbell, those are the things that start to point out to you that you might have some sort of hearing loss.
I had 2 problems that made me aware of the fact that I'd got one. One was my wife saying, "Oh, for heaven's sake, turn the television sound down, you're nearly blowing me out of the room." And the other was social occasions. You can be in a crowded room and you can't clearly hear what the person you're talking to is saying to you because of all the background noise. And that's because it all sort of blurs together into one jumble. And if you've got the right kind of hearing aid, you get balanced, clear hearing again, and that's what, thank heavens, I've now got, because with the modern digital hearing aid, you can literally tune each ear appropriately, and my right ear is much worse than my left ear, and I've got the balanced hearing because the digital aids accommodate it.
I was at a hospital in the Midlands not too long ago, and I'd got a relative in the geriatric ward. And there's a guy who comes around putting hearing aids in. And this sounds very comical, although it's not very funny. The guy who was putting the hearing aids in had 2 hearing aids and couldn't hear that when he was switching all these pensioners' hearing aids on, they were all going, woo, woo.
I think if you've got a hearing aid that's whistling like mad like that, there's definitely something wrong. And it's so easy to get a hearing test or to get something sorted out now. You can soon make an appointment by calling us on 0845 270 3916.
Murray, before we go, I got to congratulate you on your work with the Formula One. I mean, you're a legend. Everybody loves you. Are you still as excited by it today as you were maybe 10 years ago?
Absolutely. I look forward to every new season with enormous enthusiasm. It's a great sport. I'm very lucky to have been involved with it the way I have been all these years, and I'm glad to say I'm still commentating for Australia and for Sky Television. I love every second of it, and I hope it's going to continue for a while.
Are you by choice not on ITV? Because let's face it, that's where most people in this country watch it, and you have got the most loved voice in F1. There's no question.
Well, it's very kind of you to say so. I can see how you got on.
No, look, I don't blow smoke up people's backsides unless they deserve it. And people genuinely love you. And you're a bit like Lineker is to football. Immediately, you're the first name that you think of when it comes to talking about it.
Well, it's probably because I've been doing it for a very, very long time. My first commentary was in 1948, and I'm still doing it. And I'm very lucky, really, because I've got a voice which is appropriate to my sport. Motorsport is harsh, it's aggressive, it's noisy, and my voice, because of the way my genes worked out, is harsh and aggressive and noisy, and there's not much I can do about it, but it does happen to fit the sport that I talk about.
And it is so much fun. It's got that edge of danger, which all great sports have. Let's be honest, boxing is only exciting because it's kind of dangerous. Yeah. And your passion does ooze through the microphone, doesn't it?
Yes, I stand up to do commentaries. A lot of people sit down, but I stand up because the adrenaline is pouring out of me by the bucketful while I'm doing it, and the words pour out of me. I know sometimes the wrong words come out. It's difficult to avoid it sometimes, and happily people seem to like me because of it and not dislike me because of it, which is very reassuring from my point of view.
Fabulous. Heather Pitchford and Murray Walker, thank you for coming on the programme today.
Thank you.